what's up, family? Real quick, plan your future, or your future will make plans for you. And I promise you, you will not like the plans that your future have for you. All right. So this is for you who struggle with planning out your future. Because because I hear people, they don't know how to plan. Like they don't know, like they struggle, like they really struggle with planning their future. And I like to simplify it like this because, you know, I speak about my 20 plus years of living for the weekend, not planning for my future, but only for the weekend that's to come at work, chopping up with everybody pretty much. Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, Wednesday consists of planning for Wednesday, Thursday, planning for my Friday, Saturday, and my Sunday. And coming back to work, talking about how successful my weekend was of doing nothing, just hanging out, chilling, going to this person's house, going to that person's house, like not doing anything productive, achieving nothing significant at all, right? And as I look back on those days, it's like I literally planned everything to a T. Haircut appointments, I knew where I was going, what time I was going, what I was wearing, what I was going to drink, like everything to a T. Now, I could say, you know what? I just don't know how to plan my future. All right, motorcycle man, you gonna get flipped off your joint with that craziness, brother. Man, you only got two wheels, my guy. You need to cut back on that. But I could say, you know what? I don't know how to plan my future. But for 20 plus years of doing this, I became an expert at it. So what I'm saying is, if you say you struggle with planning for your future, I would like to present this to you. Think about it. What if one of your homegirls call you? Be like, girl, I'm getting married next month, and I'm inviting you to my wedding. Or one of your partners call you, say, kinfolk, look, check this out, man. This weekend is going down. We gonna ask a few questions. When? Where? What time does it start? What's the dress code? When? Where? What time does it start? And what's the dress code? Am I lying? We've all done it before. Why are we asking these questions? So we can make sure that we are prepared and ready. Whether that's this weekend, whether it's next month, whether it's 3 months from now. We're going to make sure on that day we are ready. We're going to make sure before that day comes, we're already, like, before we get off the phone, depending on how long we are on the phone, conversing with whoever it is presenting us this, presenting to us the event or what's to come, we will already know at least what colors we're going to wear. We're going to know what colors we're going to wear. And then depending on what the occasion is, or what's the theme, if you will, like, it's a strong possibility we have an idea what we're going to wear. Some of us, we might need to, figure out what shoes we're going to wear with it. I can hear some of my people saying, with my all white forces. You know what I'm saying? Like this what like this is what we do though. You know what I mean? Like anybody hit us up talking about, hey, this is what's happening. You know what I mean? Like I want you to slide through. You know what I mean? We're gonna ask when, where, what time, and what's the dress code. It may not be in that order, but we're gonna ask those questions because we want to make sure that we are the hottest thing smoking up in, when we step up in that joint. We're gonna make sure that, like, you know, we fresh to death. We're gonna make sure when we walk up in there that Tupac said, "All eyes on me." You feel me? Like that's just what it is. We're gonna make sure that when we step up in there, we're gonna be right. You know what I mean? Like, again, do you still struggle with planning for your future? Like, how are you able to know what you're going to wear based on a conversation? What you do? Based on the information that you got, you start self-assessing, you start brainstorming. Then you probably start visualizing in the process. Based on the questions that we ask, that's enough that we need. The more questions we ask, the more we are visualizing the future event that we're going to go to. We done already seen it before we even got there. So when we got there, we looked like we were ready. Somebody had to let you know what the business is. Ain't nobody just call you like, you know, like a couple of hours, like say this last minute, hey, slide through real quick. Like, you still gonna be fly, you still gonna be looking good, you know what I mean? But it's different when you've been given a heads up, like far in advance. You're gonna look like you was well prepared for this night or this day. That is not possible without looking into the future of the event based on the information that your man provided or your girl provided you. You already know what you're going to wear. You already know what colors you're going to wear, like from head to toe. If you got it like that where you have like different type of vehicles, you already know what vehicle you're going to slide up in. You know what I mean? Like, and look, check me out. It's so crazy though. Let it mess around and rain though. Let it mess around and rain. As long as what's happening on that day is still popping off, guess what? You will still be up in that joint. You're not going to let a little bit of inclement weather rain on your parade and like cancel you from showing up and showing out. Now, one thing about vision and planning for our future, things are going to happen. Things are going to happen. Things that's out of our control. Well, because of those things happen, that does not mean the goal, the destination changes. No, like we just might have to, you know, do a couple tweaks, make some adjustments, little changes, you know what I mean, like little detours to get to the destination. But we still have to make sure that we arrive at achieving our goal. Don't you agree? Oh, you don't agree? Well, check this out. Let it mess around and rain on the day that it's supposed to be going down. And especially if it's not like crazy rain and the event is still happening, guess what? You probably ain't gonna wear shorts. Some of y'all might will. I'm gonna say some of us might will. Some of us might switch it up and throw in some pants. You know what I mean? Like for the women was gonna wear like a skirt or a dress or something or whatever. But like for some reason it's like either we already had a pair of pants, a outfit already hanging up, already in the cleaners. We just haven't wore yet. Or it's like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go to the store and cop something. You know what I mean? Like, cause I'm not missing this for the world. And we make those tweaks and adjustments, and guess what? We still show up to the event, showing up, showing out. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't missed a beat. We still ready. Still can't tell us nothing. Still the hottest thing smoking. You know what I mean? We walk up in that joint like, come on, man. Keep on, man. Y'all know how us fellas do it. Can't tell us nothing. I wish I was standing up right now, like, for my fellas. Especially us. Like, look, you know we fly. We done put some clothes on. We finna step out. We looking in front of the mirror, right? We turn sideways, like bend our left leg a bit, or should I say our right leg a bit, and do this number here, looking back at our shoes. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You know what I mean? Like, we pull in one of them numbers, and then one of them numbers. Women, y'all have y'all thing too, but I'm just saying though. You know what I mean? Like, that's when we know that we fly. You know what I mean? And that's when we know, like, we finna kill a game. You know what I mean? But guess what? That was no last minute. We planned for this. We already knew what we was finna step up and step out in. Why? Because we visualize into the future based on the event, based on the dress code, based on all the information that was provided to us. Like, we already ready, not only ready for that day, but we done seen that day before. Like, we already know what we're gonna do that entire day leading up to that night. Why? Because we visualize into the future and seen it already. And because we seen it already, we plan for it. So you can't tell me that you don't know how you struggle with planning your future. If somebody like say, look, check this out, man. Look, it's going down. I'm telling you, we're going to ask when, where, what time, what's the dress code. Again, may not be in that order, but we're going to ask those questions for sure. Then know who all going to be there and so all those other questions, you know what I mean? Like, they going to fall somewhere in place, but we guarantee going to ask those 4 questions. Why? So we can be prepared for it. So why don't we look deep within ourselves? Look at our situation. Are we happy with our situation, our living conditions? Like, are we okay with it? Do we know that not only we deserve much more, but we can have and do much more? Do we believe there's more to our lives than this? Do we believe that there's more waiting for us? Do we believe we have a brighter future, a brighter future for us, waiting for us? Do we believe this? Some of you don't. I'm going to tell you, you do. Ask me how I figure that. Just, if you want to know how I figure that, like put in the description below. We can chop it up on that note. Like, I don't want to go too far off the message because I don't have much longer, right? But if you want to know how I know you have a brighter future ahead of you than what you've already experienced in life, like, just crank it up in the description below. Let's speak to that so you can start believing. Or so you can start believing again and get going in that direction of the bright future that God has created you to have. You feel me? Like, seriously, all jokes aside. But Like, if you believe these things, then that's all you need. Now we have to look within. Okay, based on my living situation, my living condition, I know I don't want to live like this for the rest of my life. Like, I need to get my kids out of this environment. Or before I have kids, I need to make sure that I have my stuff together. What does that look like? Like, what does, those are goals, but what does that look like? Write down what that look like. Like, just like, hey, check this out. Like, hey, we have this thing going on next weekend. Look, check this out. I need you to slide through. Look, this is what's happening. All right. So same thing like with your future. Like, what does that look like? Take notes. Write down. You ask questions. Hey, what's the dress code? Like, so you talk about your future. Like, you taking notes. What does that look like? Write that down. Write all those things down. If you 20 and you wanna you 20, you want to change your situation, like you want to be in a new situation, a better situation than what you're in the next 4 or 5 years. What does that situation look like? The more you ask yourself, scratch, the more you look at your current situation. I'm not saying be ungrateful, be very grateful. My man Jeremy Anderson, he have a saying, like, you know, it's on shirts and everything, like, grateful, never settle. So it's like, yes, be very grateful, but that does not mean we settle. That does not mean we get complacent with where we are because this is familiar, because this is comfortable, because this is all I ever known. Like, no, it's not it. That's not it. It's more. It's more. You can have more. You can be more. You can do more. There's much more waiting for you. There's much more waiting for us. And we have to know that for certain. But we have to know what that looks like, though. Not based on what they have on social media, not based on what somebody else have. Like for you, what do you feel like will complete you? Obviously, material things, it does not fulfill us. But what I'm saying is, just say, if you was to visualize your future life, what would that life look like? You might be like, you know what, I'm not on 2-story thing. I just want 3 or 4 4 bedroom, 3 baths, maybe a pool in the back, 2,000 square foot home, 3 cars. You know what I mean? Like, just something simple. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, write that down. You know what I mean? Like, that right there, that's for you. That may be like, you know what? That looks like a comfortable life for me. I don't need to have all the exotic cars. I don't need to have this, you know, this 3,500 square feet home, basketball court, pool, and, you know, all those things on 2 acres. I don't need all that. Like, I don't need all those things are cool, but I'm just looking for simple. I'm looking for simple. Nothing wrong with that. Now, I want the 35. No, speaking into existence. At some point, I will have the 35 to 5,000 square foot home. You know what I mean? Like, 2-story. A basketball court, indoor basketball court, might I add. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many cars, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, but like, that's just what it is, because I'm like this is a legacy home for my family. So when wife and I pass or what have you, then, you know, for the kids and the grandkids or whatever, like, this is home. Like, say I'm 41 grantee, like like the meeting spot, gathering spot was always grantee house. Oh, grandmother, for some of you don't know. That was always grantee spot. You know what I mean? All the cousins, aunties, uncles come over, gather here. Grantee cooked like this crazy meal. You know what I mean? Like, and we just do family. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? So like the legacy home, like that's what I envision, like for the family. So even before and after we pass, like this is legacy home right here. You know what I mean? It's not just like, oh, for selfish reasons, oh, just for like, nah. But you know what I mean? Like that's me though. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I deserve that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that. Like I know one day I will have it if it's God's will. I'm not gonna sit back on my hands and like wish for it and not work for it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it will come in this place, in this order at some point. But this is where we're going with it. You feel me? Like this, like, you know what I mean? So that's going to be a part of my future life. Like I can feel the scarcity inside of me because I have not broke those chains yet. You know what I mean? Like I'm feeling a sense of doubt. Like, no, I deserve this. It's like, you know, do you actually think that? Yeah, we own that. You know what I mean? We own that. And for some of you, like you might start looking into the future. You start like, man, that'd be nice. You know what? I think I can have that. You know what I mean? First of all, let's scratch the think. Like it could be like, I think I can have that, and then it's like that thought kind of mind. You really think you can have that? You really think you deserve that? Like you think you can afford that? And then those doubts, don't mess around and tell somebody who's either negative or don't believe it's possible. They're gonna say they're gonna speak against it, and then you're gonna believe that. And don't tell them nothing. You know who they are. Don't tell them nothing unless you're gonna use that for motivation purposes only. You know what I mean? But I still wouldn't suggest that. You know what I mean? Like, but like that's what I'm talking. So what does that future life look like for you? You know what I mean? I need you to believe enough to start writing all that down. Even if you like crazy about cars, write those things down. Nothing wrong with having cars and, you know, different stuff like that when we place them before God and start doing illegitimate things to get those things, then, you know, that's when God have a problem with it. You know what I mean? Because now those cars or those things or those people are now our idols because we place them above and before God. Like we placed those things number one in our lives. And he said, like, there shall not be no one before me, no God before me. Like the words say that he's a jealous God. Like, so like, you know, when it come down to idols, that was one of the main reasons why the generation, the people of Israel that Moses delivered from Egypt, that's one of the reasons why they didn't enter the promised land after 40 plus years. Is because like they kept building items. They kept building idols. You know what I'm saying? Like, although Moses told them and wrote the 10 Commandments and all that, but they just kept building idols, worshiping, you know, these idols, other gods, whether it was like the jury or like animals, like elephants and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, so they didn't. So yeah, so those things, it's okay to have those things, but once we place them above and before God or do illegitimate things in the eyes of God, like for what he considered illegitimate, then that's when there's a problem. But like, it's nothing wrong with having those things, and this ain't no prosperity preaching or nothing like that. This is just what I believe. I'm not a materialistic type of person, but yeah, I will have that legacy home for my family before I die, if God wills. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what it is. And that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but whatever your future life looks like take notes. Write all those things down. Write it all down. And then like when you write it down, the one of the key reasons why it's important for us to visualize into that future, like for example, like we fresh to death on that day we got the day of the occasion that we got invited to that event. We was ready live because we seen what that day, we seen what that event looked like before we got there. Like descriptive, like we got enough details to know, like when we step up in that joint, we know what time it is, right? So it's the same thing with our future. If we spend time visualizing into our future, naturally, like we start brainstorming. You know what I'm saying? When we start to see things. So when we start to see things, a couple of things happen. One of the things a couple of things start happening, which is we start to see more into the future of that vision, what that looks like. And the more we see, the more we can write down of what our future life looks like. Also, the more time we spend in our future, the more familiar it will begin to be to us. The more familiar it began to be to us, the more we start to grow an emotional attachment to that future life because we're visualizing it. We're spending time in that vision. We're brainstorming, like we seeing everything. We're writing everything down. Like we getting comfortable with being there. Like in fact, when we working, like we actually like seeing, we still visualize into that future while we work. Like it become a part of us. And then we start to develop an emotional attachment to that future, to where it's like, now I no longer believe, I will persist my way to that future life. There's nothing going to stop me from arriving to that future life. Like it becomes so real that like we will not accept no for an answer. Like our mindset would change. Our perspective about when we go through the process, the smoke that we're going to encounter. Like we will refuse to give up. Like no matter how hard it gets, we won't quit because it has become so real to us. That's why we have to visualize into the future. So when you say, I struggle with planning for my future, think about the last time somebody told you about an event and gave you an invite to. Think about the last time. Did you go to that event? Okay, you went to the event. Was you prepared for the event? Was you prepared for that day? Like, did you plan all the way up to that day? You set, like, you got haircut appointments or hairdo appointments, nail appointments, like everything. Like you were prepared to a T for this event. How is it that we can plan for entertainment, kicking it, hanging out, doing things that's not productive or moving the needle in our lives, not getting us to where we're trying to go to? How is it that we can plan and attend these things or these places, these events, but we're not willing to do that, or we struggle with doing? I know why we struggle with doing that, but Like we're not patient enough. Like we don't take time out or take out enough time to plan for our future. And this is our future we talking about. This is not a one night stand in a sense of, oh, we gonna kick it this weekend and then like we're gonna talk about it for the next few days, or it's gonna go into the memories bank to where we can always look back on that day, chopping it up about it, laughing about it, like reminiscing on it, like, okay, that's cool. Like that event, that was what's up. Like, I mean, we made history with that. But the history ain't doing nothing for our future. Especially when it was just nothing but entertainment, when it was nothing but kicking it, drinking and smoking and probably doing a number of things we ain't have no business doing anyway. How is that serving our future? How is that serving us in any way? It's not. And you can talk crazy to me all you want. I'm qualified to talk about that because I did it for 20 plus years of my life. And now that I'm 41, I'm still trying to put together what should have already been completed before I even had a family. Now it's harder to do it because my time is being pulled this way, my energy that way, my focus that way. Like everything is like it's not okay, lock in, boom, go get it. Go kill it. No, like I gotta take out time for this. Like I gotta be strategic with scheduling my days. I have to be strategic and knowing like what the house schedule look like. So it's like now, okay, I got this window of opportunity. I can go ahead and dive in and, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? But I'm spread thin on time because I didn't handle my business when I was single. I didn't handle my business. So when I had a family, I like kind of like God, he created the world and put everything in place and then created mankind on the last day. Jesus told his disciples that I'm going away and I'm going to prepare a place for you. God prepared a place for us before he even created us. So when he created mankind, we would be good. He already created everything in the land, things like, you know, fruits and vegetables, like the seeds that will reproduce, like everything that we have today. He created everything in the first 6 days of creation. And it's still covering us today. It's still covering us today. He did everything in 6 days. So he prepared a place for us. Why aren't we preparing a place for our families? Why aren't we thinking of our future, making preparations, implementing things, putting things in place, so when that time comes, the place have been prepared for us to now, you know, like start dating or get married. After getting married, having kids by the person we got married to. You know what I mean? So it's like now, like we made a place for them. We prepared a place for them. So when we had a family, they have to go through the struggles we went through. Psychological struggles, traumas, like going to see counselors and like all these mental issues that we have. Like, so when we have a family, we're not repeating the same cycle. Because we got help before we had a family, now we can create a healthy environment. We can have a healthy family. Like preparing a place for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when we talk about preparing a place, I'm not just talking about, oh, a nice house, not have to worry about money. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is good. Like, yeah, for sure. That's a definite. But if we're bringing children into broken homes, what good is the material things? What good is it? They be better off being brought into a healthy family structure than having all these material things. To be honest, I'm not saying one or the other. I'm saying it should be a completion of both, well rounded. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what preparing the future looks like. That's what looking into the future looking like, saying, you know what, I don't want to have a family and bring them in this mess, that like same mess that I grew up in. I don't want to bring them into this or that type of struggle that I encountered when I was a kid, or struggling trying to make ends meet, living check to check, whatever that is. I don't want that for my family. So now that I realize what my situation is, I now know I refuse to bring my family up in this or start a family while I don't have myself together. Now, what does that look like? What does that future look like? Well, it looks like the opposite of what I'm going through. It looks like the opposite of what I went through. So what does the opposite looks like as a foundational thing? And then it's like we start seeing that, and the more time in that, we're able to add to that vision. We're able to add to that dream. Because now we spend time in our future and we like, you know what? This is the type of life I want for my kids. This is the type of situation that I wanna bring up a family in. Start writing that joint down, spend time in the future. And then it's like, now, what do I need to start doing? What do I need to implement? What education do I need to, or skill I need to acquire? Like, what do I need to do to start building this? That might come with research. You know what I mean? Like, that may come with a list of things, but you now know where to start. Start there. Let that be your starting point. Not only your future is dependent on it, but like, you start to have a family, it's no longer about you. It's about them, especially for us men. It's about them. What does that look like? Now we know what that looks like. Let's reverse engineer based on where that is. Like, what do I need based on what that looks like, knowing our starting point? Like, what do we need? What steps do we need to take, and that going in that direction that's going to help us start to achieve some of these goals? Yes, it's going to be like we're going to have a lot of little small goals. I call those checkpoints. But the checkpoints, as long as we stay the course according to the plan, we'll start knocking out these short-term goals, and the short-term goals is going to lead us to the long-term goals. You know what I mean? Like, our short-term goals are guidelines that help us stay the course, that's going to help us reach and achieve our long-term goal. So what does that look like? Don't tell me like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know what that. You do. Because if you get a call, today is Friday, if you get a call today and tell you, and somebody tell you, hey, like, this is what we doing tomorrow, or this is what we doing Sunday, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you plan on going, you're going to make arrangements, you're going to plan, you're going to prepare, you're going to do everything that you can to make sure that, for one, you can make it to that joint, and when you make it to that joint, you stepping up and stepping out. And you're gonna be one of the flies, or the hottest person up in there. You're gonna make sure of that. Why don't you make sure that your future life looks like super fly, super nice, right? You know what I mean? You not only owe it to yourself, you not only owe it to yourself and deserve it, your family do too. And even if you don't plan on having a family, guess what? God didn't create you just so you can have what you want and do what you want. No, He created each and every one of us with a purpose. Like He created us to live a life that's not apart from Him, which means we need to have this, like, have a strong intimate relationship with Him. Also, He also created us for a work, to do a work in this land. So when we be thinking it's all about us, we be on us, me. It's like you getting the point. That's why I can't move things in your life the way I desire to. That's why I can't create opportunities and bless you in the way that I to, and what I pre-plan to, because you're on you. All you care about you. All you care about your circle. But no, I'm trying to get you to reach an entire generation. But you stuck on you. If I start blessing you, the blessing gonna stop with you. I need the blessings to flow through you, to and through you. That means it does not stop with you. Yes, you benefit and receive, you know, whatever in the blessings that's coming to you, but that's supposed to flow through you. And until we get off of self, we're always gonna limit God for what He truly desired to do with, to, for, and through us. You think about that. But in the meantime, look, it says Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain. Start spending time in your future and seeing what that looks like, and write it down. The more you write down, you're going to realize those are short-term goals and those are long-term goals. Some of those are even steps that's going to help you achieve your goals, but you have to write it down. How many times you was having a conversation with somebody and like two or three thoughts hit you and you only hit them with two, and it's like, dang, what I was gonna say? We forget. That's why we need to write things down, because the thing that we didn't write down might be the key that's going to really, really create or make things happen. Write it down. Be serious about your future. You might struggle with planning what you see your future looking like, because you're not familiar with that. You're not used to doing that. Yeah, like you look forward to this weekend or the next occasion. Cool. I ain't even mad at you. I ain't judging you. I did it for 20 plus years. But now we need to create a shift and start looking into our future, looking at our situation, and realize, yes, we're grateful, but I hate that I have to live like this. I hate that I'm struggling like this. I hate it seems like every time I start to, like, then this happened. Like, we have to get tired of where we are. We have to get tired of what we're looking at. Yes, we're grateful, but we're not settling. So I feel like once we get tired of living the way we live, feeling how we feel based on our living situation, our living conditions, you know what I mean? Like nothing changed. Like, living in the hood, it's always somebody getting, jacked. It's always shootings. It's always like all these different things. It's like, you know what? I think it might be I think it might be time for a change. I don't want to raise my family up in this environment because I know what it did to me. Yes, I came out on the good side of it, but I just want to give my family a better opportunity at a better life than what I had, because maybe my parents didn't know any better. Like we lived according to what they knew. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like it's up to us that, we make sure that we are we make better decisions, put ourselves in better situation than our parents was in. And the same thing, we lay the foundation to where our ceiling is is the is our kids' floor. You know what I mean? Like, we have to make sure, again, preparing a place. We have to make sure we put things in place. And the only way we can do that is if we're looking into the future, planning for that future, and get started moving, building that future. But it starts with each and every one of us. It's not going to do itself. And as I close, like I said at the start of this, if you don't make plans for your future will make plans for you. And you will not like what your future planned for you. I promise. Look at, if you never planned your future, and looking at your situation because you didn't plan it, or are you like, man, I'm highly successful, man, I got this, I got that, man, I'm living this, I'm living that, man, life is great. Like, yeah, you might be speaking from a grateful standpoint, but like, if if things are going that great, imagine if you actually planned for your future, how much sooner you would have gotten to this future, how much better this future would be. All right, so again, as I close, if you do not make plans for your future for you, and you will not like the future, your you will not like the plans that your future have for you. I promise you. As always, I love you guys. If you feel it in your spirit, um, share this out. You may be good. Someone that you connected to, or someone who who can reach you, you can reach them. And if you aren't subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you feel the need to, please. I will be welcomed and grateful and honored to have you, because there's much more to come. But in the meantime, we got planning to do. Let's go. You deserve it. Go make it happen.